Yo, what's good, everybody? Today is October the 3rd, 2023. Most gracious and Heavenly Father, we thank you, God, for another opportunity of prayer. We ask you, God, that you will bless this broadcast, as well as our viewers and their families as well. We just ask you, God, that you bless this conversation. And we thank you, God, for the opportunity to be here to do another show. All the things we ask in the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. What's good, everybody? I'm just trying to find something real quick so I can follow along to make sure everything is copacetic. Let's see, boy. Y'all just give me 1 second. Thanks for tuning in. As you guys get in the comments, let me know which streaming service you're watching on, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. And if you haven't already, would you please go follow the Marvin Bennett Jr. Show on YouTube and on Facebook as well. Not my actual private page, but there is a page that's set up exactly, specifically for the show. I ask that you guys will go follow that and please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, where you can find older shows that we upload as soon as the show is over. I already got 91 older shows on there, so feel free to check out some of the older content as well. And again, just thanks for your support. Appreciate you all. Gonna get ready to get into these Born Day shout outs. Again, whoever you're streaming at, let me know where you're streaming from, whether you're streaming on YouTube or Facebook. And I do appreciate you. I'm almost there. Just want to make sure that these visuals are right. How was everybody's weekend and their week so far? All right, that's taking longer than I wanted to, so let's go ahead and get into these Born Day shout outs. I want to start with okay, there we go. All right, cool. All right, so let's get started with these Born Day shout outs again. Let's see, want to start with happy Born Day to Shannon Worthy. Happy Born Day to Ernie, my boy Buck Teller, West Side Days in the Ramp. My sister again, love you, girl, Melissa Carr. Beautiful Estee Scott, Eric Norwood, little bro, my man Jersey Mack, Pamela Page, Tequila Anderson, Arturo Anderson, Marion Bell, Orlando Big O Thompson, Vandell Atkins, Jid Shaheed, Kathy Soto, Derek Jackson Sr., Miss Ebony Jackson, Brian Miller, Shantae Judd, Tanya King, Keisha Fox, that cousin, Keisha Fox, Derek Perry, Rose Worthington, Nikki Horton, Nicole Walker. Happy Heavenly Born Day to my grandfather, Lewis Williams, Cindy Lindsay, beautiful Monique Hall, Miss Melinda Whittemore, my cousin Trell Williams, and last but not least, Miss Nicole. Happy Born Day to everybody that celebrated over the past week and over this weekend, celebrating your born days. Congratulations to all you all. Doing research for the show. I want to give my condolences. Y'all know I do condolences after the born day shout outs. I want to give my condolences to the Staples family, my Deliverance Jesus is Coming church family. We lost Mother Staples on last week. They were going to be having a homecoming service celebrating her life. And you'll be able to find all that information on the church's page or the Facebook page. Great woman of God and pivotal, taught in the education system at Westside High School for many, many years. I didn't know that the years later. So just I thank her for her memories. Thank you for the example that she was and her service to the board of education there in Newark and the kids that benefited from her giving back as her gift. Um, I was doing research because I was trying to get in contact with somebody that was supposed to do the show with me um, last year, and I was trying to get them on the show this year before the end of the year. I went to their page and reached out to them. I texted them. They didn't text me back. I went to their page and found out that they passed away in August. So my condolences to Pastor Tyrone Sweeney, his family, his church family as well. True man of God, and I thank him for our conversations that we had. We had many good conversations. We both were in ministry, but we both were big fans of Malcolm X and what he stood for and his work. So we used to have some interesting conversations about that, being belonging to the Christian faith, so to speak. But we got a saying in the hood: "Real recognize real," and that's one thing that brother Malcolm was a real one. He was willing to give his life for not just what he believed in, but for the greater of his people. And to me, that's the most Christ-like example that anybody can accept. Like when you're willing to lay your life down for what it is that you believe. You know what I mean? I can only imagine how many conversations Betty Shabazz had with him. Like Malcolm, you got 5 girls to be raising. You ain't got time to be worried about what's going on in Africa and Detroit and all these places here. But Malcolm, he served his purpose, and I believe in what God created him to be in this space and time for. So I've always gave mad respect to Minister Shabazz, Malcolm X Shabazz, but rest in peace to Tyrone Sweeney. I want to say congratulations to everybody that's celebrating anniversaries as well and one anniversary in particular, I want it and wherever you guys are at, I want you guys to give yourself a round of applause because today marks the 1 year anniversary of our YouTube channel. Which, like I said, you can go in there and there's already 91 older shows on it, and I still got more to upload on that. So thank you all for rocking with me. Thanks for supporting me. If you haven't already, you can please go to the YouTube channel. That's the Marvin Bennett Jr. Show. Please subscribe to all your friends about it. We got some good conversations on there from various subjects. People always ask me, what is the show about? And I'm like, that's kind of hard to describe because we talk about a little bit of any and everything going here, just case by case. And this week it just so happened to be the first of the month freestyle show. So I got my cuz on here with us as well. And y'all seen on the announcement what I wanted to talk about today. A couple of weeks ago, I watched we've been doing mad shows on hip hop lately, but I watched the Kirk Franklin documentary Father's Day a couple of weeks back, and it was something that straight registered with me because I'm not necessarily a Kirk Franklin fan, but just that story and the storyline about that. So I kind of want to get into that with you all today. For those that have seen it, those that want to comment on it, feel free to join the conversation. What's good, Big Five? Thanks for tuning in as always, bro. Yes, I want to do that. And me and my boy Hot Rod, shout out to Hot Rod. We were having a conversation earlier today just about OJ in general, about the football player OJ. You know what I mean? Like how great he had to be that we never even got to see this dude play, but just the highlights and everything else. And then in the middle of the conversation, we both realized that I had got alert on my phone early, but he said, "Yo, bro, I know you got your plan for the show today, but you realize today is the 28th anniversary of the verdict." So I was like, "Well, this day in history, being that it's the first of the month freestyle, where we do current events and everything else, we got to talk about that because that was one of those days of history where, it's like you remember where you at, just like 9/11." When that OJ trial might have been the trial of the century. Like it was bomb. So we're gonna get into that as well. And then last but not least, on this previous week, they officially arrested Keefy D for the murder of Tupac Shakur. So we're gonna get into that as well. And I think that is kind of crazy. And like I said, we're gonna get on the whole thing eventually. But what's good, Rochelle? Thanks for tuning in as always. I thought it was kind of interesting that here it is that somebody's finally being arrested 27 years later, and Tupac was murdered at the age of 25, which means that his murderer been on the run, just living his life longer than Tupac ever even existed on this earth. And that's like absolutely crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me. But I'm gonna well, I just introduced him. Got my cousin Jai on here tonight, chopping it up with me as usual. What's good with you, man?
What's good? How you, cousin?
Man, another day, man, another blessing. Glad to be on top and not down low.
Word up.
Hey, what's good? Up. Good little
you
lady.
You see? Every episode she try to sneak in. Every episode.
She got to do a little Where's Waldo pop up.
Yeah. Word up. Word up. Everything good, man. Everything good over here. Family great. Baby's good. What I got to complain about?
Okay. All right. So before we get into the show, he up here early too. Drew had messaged me earlier in the week. I don't know if you can see the comments or not, bro, but I posted some of them on screen. But he reached out to me. He was like, "Yo, man, something just ain't sitting with me right, bro. I need to apologize to the fellas for last week." And I'm like, what's going on, bro? Like, what's going on? So he just posted in the comments. He said, "Good night, my brother. I would like to apologize to you and the other brothers that was on last week for something that I said. Good night to all." And I told him, I was like, at the end of the day, it's never nothing personal, nothing like that there, yo.
All opinionated. Yeah, all opinionated.
But all respect to you as a man when you, like you say, it ain't something that you had to do, but you said it was weighing on you. So I could always respect anybody that, got something heavy on their heart and want to get it off and just clear the air so that there is no misunderstanding. So, apologies definitely accepted, bro. And it's all love around here, Jew. So let's start off with the Kirk Franklin thing.
Hold on. What was the apology for?
Hey Drew, what did you say it was? He had said something. He was like, just the fact that he was like, that was BS and I'm out. Like just the way he exited the show in the comments, he was feeling some kind of way. But I told him, I was like, none of us thought anything of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm almost certain y'all felt the same way I did. It wasn't nothing to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't no malice or anything like that there. We just knew where you was coming from.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so did you get to check out the little documentary, John?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what's y'all take on it? And for those, all right, so I'm gonna give you a quick synopsis for those that haven't seen the documentary just yet. Okay. So the backdrop is there's a funeral at a young lady at one of Kirk Franklin's background singers' home church. A young lady by the name of Melody, right? So the woman that they would happen to be having the funeral homegoing service for was actually Kirk Franklin's biological aunt.
Right.
Now, everybody doesn't know this. Well, it's public information, but Kirk has always, all his life since he's been out, always identified himself as being adopted. He was raised by like a family friend, an older lady in the community and things of that nature there. But he always knew who his biological mother was.
Right.
So when he get word that the biological aunt passed away at the background singer's homegoing church, he doesn't go to the homegoing service because he's beefing with his mom and he hasn't seen his mother in over 20 years. Right. So as they're at the funeral, or as Melody is at the funeral, a family friend comes up and they just so happen to be talking and with her father, and the guy tells him all of a sudden, he tells the father of the family, like, well, I used to date Deborah back in the day. And they're like, word. So now all of a sudden, people are looking at him, looking at Kirk, like, similarities. Both of them sure they got the same nose, they got this and they got that. So the conversation goes from there to Kirk. Like everything started hitting the rumor mill, especially with the internet and the age that we live on now. So now it's getting around. So what this young man did, I forgot his last name. I think it's Hudlin, but Rick says, what I'm gonna do is, just to dispel these rumors, I'm gonna go take a DNA test upon myself. The biological guy, or the guy that's the possibility. He goes and take a DNA test. And he takes the DNA. He doesn't even check the results. he gives the swabs to Kirk Franklin's people because he feels as though there's nobody else business other than Kirk Franklin that really want to know. Now, Kirk want to know, he can do whatever with the DNA test that he wants to. If he doesn't want to know, he can burn it, whatever the case may be. So Kirk gets the DNA test, he gets the call, and no doubt. Let's see what you say, bro. That was deep. I can't believe his mom was acting like that. It's 2 DNA tests that said the same. Exactly. So we're gonna get into all that, Drew. We're gonna catch everybody else up that haven't seen it yet, though. All right. So Kirk gets the DNA. He gets the call about the DNA test. Doctor tells him that the test results come back 99.9995% that this guy is his father. So now Kirk is, of course, like, you can't even imagine what that situation is like. I know I can't because I know who my father is. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even imagine what he was going through psychologically, emotionally, finding this news out. So he has.
Let me add this real quick. He was living in the same. They was all living in the same town the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. And he talks about in the documentary how right across the street from the biological father house is the same house that he used to take his son to go play at. That's how close the proximity is. And then we're going to kind of get into that too, because I believe I'm one of those old fashioned people that believe that in the details, right? I believe that nobody in the world has a sense of humor like God. And it's funny how these 6 degrees of separation always kind of connect us, or we didn't know this person here, we ain't know this person here, right. But we want to grow up all these in God's appointed time, not when we want it, but according to God's timing. You know what I'm saying? So Kirk meets up with the father to tell him that, you know, he sets up an interview with it. He wants to meet the father. He wants to have a conversation with the father and his mother all in the same day. Now, so he meets with the father. He gives the father the results. And the father tell him, say, listen, I never thought that there was a possibility that I had a baby with anybody in the world. If I even thought it was a possibility, I would have, you know, did everything in my power just to make sure that is not true, and I'm not a deadbeat father, whatever the case may be. Gives Kirk the test results. He opens it up and he sees it. He just breaks down and begins to cry. And to me, one of the very first things, that's when it started hitting home for me, because it was like the thing that really blew my mind. What's good, Mel? What's good, Tamara? The thing that really blew my mind to me was, first of all, for him, kudos to him for even taking the DNA test. We'll be willing to do that, because a lot of people, you know, it's been 53 years. And if you ain't known by now, you ain't getting no closure. You know what I mean? We ain't even gonna open that door. You know what I mean? Because now you about to be hating me for something that wasn't even my fault. You know what I mean? Right. Or whatever case. That wasn't his mindset. But even after he finds out that he is Kirk's biological father, the very first thing that he does after he breaks down and cries, the first words that come out of his mouth is, "I'm sorry, man." And that was powerful to me. Like, he's apologizing, even though it wasn't necessarily his fault.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that really stuck out to me, because, you know, I got caught up in some pregnancy scares, and I was like that the same way too. And that was my mindset, the same way that he was thinking. Like, I would never want this young child to grow up and then they turn 16, 20, 25, you know, 30 years down the line. Well, where were you at, Daddy? So I asked the potential mom, like, yo, is there any way that I could take a test or whatever the case may be? She kept absolutely letting me know there's no possibility that this is your child. So I had to live with that. Like, you know what I mean? And, you know, I can't honestly say that sometimes I still don't think about that, because people are hurting. People are looking for answers. People are looking for, you don't know what kind of blood type you are. You don't know diabetes running your family, high blood pressure. And I think that when things happen, it's important to know your family's medical history, because you know what I mean? It plays a vital part in finding a solution sometime. And just like you say, just getting those answers. Now, it's not to say that you have to build a relationship or anything like that there, but it was something that was so heavy to me at the time. I was married at the time, and the potential little girl was the same age as my oldest son. They're like a month apart. So I had to, you know, come clean to my wife at the time, like, listen, this is the situation, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be known for this here and that there. You know what I mean? And her approach was like, thank God, her approach was like, well, let's find out. Let's see what we got to do. You know what I mean? Because we need this answer. And I don't understand that everybody doesn't have that mindset. You know what I mean? Some people got that, like I said, let sleeping dogs lie. I think that wasn't a situation.
Right.
But I only can imagine what Kirk was going through. So Kirk meets up with the mother. The mother says there's no way possibility that this is totally false. It's absolutely incorrect. There's no way in the world. So what Kirk does is Kirk says, okay, what we'll do is we'll take another DNA test in your presence so you can see it. Yep. The second result come back the same exact way. Now the mother is still denying it. And Kirk like, yo, I'm saying out of all this here, you know what I mean? You can't give me this one thing. And I kind of want to get into that with some of the moms out there that's watching that, that's seen the story, because to me, I get all of that, but it's like I don't understand what's the energy as far as keeping the lie going. You know what I'm saying? Especially like, and this is the mother, and I've talked about this on past shows. I kind of want to hear your take on it too, Josh. Like for me, I always found it peculiar how it seemed like moms, you know what I mean? Shout out to Unjane, love her to death. But it's like it seemed like a lot of times our moms or anybody, right? But when it comes to mothers, it seems like mothers get an unconditional pass, right? But when it comes to the fathers, we have a hard time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, daddy might have been a crackhead, he might have been crack, but he got himself clean. So why am I still bitter for that? Well, I know drug dealers that will give bottles to their mother.
Right.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that discourse on why we treat one parent such a way and the other. What's your take on that, Ja?
I think the whole situation, I think, like you said, when it got to that point where the mother just started sitting there lying, I just started getting aggravated personally. Like it was me, like it was affecting me, because the aunt know the mother is lying, because the aunt was sitting there too, and the aunt turned to the mother like, yo, you know, like, quit lying. Like, we got the test right here. Like, all he wants you to do is admit it. And she couldn't even do that, bro. But I knew once she did that and got up in there, it's not that I expected it, but I was just like, yeah, she ain't worth 2 cents, because just over the whole situation of him going through that, being adopted, living in the same town, whatever type of life she was living, and you know, coming to visit him twice a year.
You know, I don't want to blow up for everybody that hasn't seen it or that's still gonna watch it. I mean, well, you'll see it when you see it. But it was crazy to me how when the rumors first started, she so happily finds his number to tell him that
and never call him any other time.
Yeah,
as soon as the woman's in the church. Yeah, yeah.
Now all of a sudden, listen, if you want to meet up to talk about the rumors,
right?
Hey, just call me back. But just know, as I told you in the past, is I will never lie to you. And she was still denying the fact that this was the father after 2 blood tests.
She was still lying. She couldn't deny it because they had the test.
Yeah.
She can't deny the truth. Yeah.
What just trying to continue with Zeta don't lie. Zeta don't lie.
Straight narcissist fashion, trying to play the victim.
Hey, yeah, fine. You got to definitely come on and tell that story. I do remember because we talked about it on one of the older shows. That was a crazy story how my man met his pops. You know what I mean? So he could kind of relate to that. It was crazy. And I want you to tell the story, Fa, because you know can't nobody tell it like you. You lived it.
Right.
But you know, it's just like I said, it's just crazy situation to me that you know she would go through all of this here to still be holding on, like, you know what I mean? Like you said, and Mel said, good. That's a good comment. Good point, Mel. Mel said the problem is now she has to be accountable to God, Kirk, Dad, and herself.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't want to hold accountability for your actions, man.
And so it's kind of a rhetorical question, but what is it about accountability? Like accountability seems to be big to all of us personally. Like, what is it so hard about being accountable for our past transgressions, so to speak?
I couldn't even give you the answer to that, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you, because it was incidences where I did hold myself. Like in general, I think I do hold myself. Like I would rather place the blame on me or see where I would get wrong, or try to balance out. You know what I mean? Try to balance, like, oh well, what if I was in their shoes? Would I carry myself like that? Yeah. You know, in that sort of sense. But bro, right is right and wrong is wrong, bro. She was 1,000% wrong, bro.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, Go ahead.
And I was just saying from the entrance to the exit, from when they brought her on, when he was telling the backstory to when she walked out of the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
It was, I was like jaw dropping, but at the same time, I understand because of the environment I came from, and the situation of some of my friends, dealing with their father. So, man, listen, I had friends that had fathers that lived in the same town, knew that was their child, walked right past them.
Yeah.
Okay, see them in the street, walk right past them.
It's crazy.
Listen, I remember one time I wanted to go see my boy on the block, bro. This had to be in the 2000s something, bro, and early 2000s. And the son came on the block. It was like, you're like, your dad, you said you was gonna bring the kid loved wrestling. Like he was always wrestling. Like that was his thing. And came on the block and was like, "Yo, Dad, I thought you was gonna bring my birthday gift." He said, I'll bring it to you, next time I see you, whatever. I got it, whatever. He lying because we all around and you're embarrassed because you're not being, sticking to your word. The kid, so the kid walk away because he upset. You said you was gonna do this, that, and third for him and nothing. The kid walk away and turn around and say, "Yeah, but you got them you can't buy me my wrestling belt, but you got them $400 jeans on your legs." Yeah, the father spazzes out and get pissed off because the son put him on blast, bro.
Wow.
It was the craziest thing ever, bro. Like, I think it goes both ways, bro. I see it in men, I see it in women, and it's not even a race thing because I see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Within every community, bro. Like, it's just the crazy. I just believe that certain people don't deserve to be or shouldn't be mothers and fathers. They shouldn't be parents, bro.
Absolutely.
That's a huge responsibility, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
I say quite often, and I try to tell people. Another thing I try to tell people is, I understand that we all want to be able to understand something, but sometimes we need to thank the Almighty Creator that we can't understand. You know what I mean? We used to watch the 10 o'clock news, and your cousin would be like, "I don't understand why a mother will put a newborn baby in the microwave."
Right.
And I'll be like, if you could understand that, guess what? You just as jacked up as that individual is.
Yeah.
And what the dude would be so heartless, as a mother would be so heartless. It just sat so raw with me because we used to hearing about a mother's love, a mother's love toward her child. And here it is, still like I just can't fathom them. And I get being embarrassed and all that there. I'm like, God for sake, you know what I mean? And everybody, I can't measure everybody according to me. But on at least 9 or 10 different shows, I talked about how I attempted suicide over 3 different occasions. You know what I mean? That's embarrassing, bro. That's shameful. That ain't nothing to be proud to talk about. But I share those kind of stories because I think it's important for other people out there to know. Like if Marv was battling or not Marv, because most people when they tell me, they like, nah, man, you playing, not you, man. You always positive. You funny, you this and you that did. But it was real deal for me, bro.
Right.
It was real to me. I got to the point where I didn't want to be here no more, and it wasn't that I didn't have nobody to talk to. It wasn't that I wasn't loved. I knew all those things. It didn't change the fact that I didn't no longer want to be here. So I think it's really important for us to be able to, take time out to, because back then we didn't have no mental health and different things of that nature there. But it's really important for us to be able to check up on people from time to time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that's all to say, boom, that's always to this day. And I never told you this, but I've talked about it before too. Like to this day, ties is one of the main reasons that I keep my phone on 24/7. So, like, I don't care whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever it may be. Now, if you call me on some BS at 5 o'clock in the morning, we might have
another story. You get in the earphone
to the phone because you just never know. And I do remember him calling me, and I'm like, I call him back. Oh, I call him back. I get ready to call the next day. He's not here for me to call him, bro.
Right.
But when things have been changed, if it been different, if I had answered the phone the first time he called me, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's something that I got to deal with, and that's something that I got to live with. So it always, you just never know. Because
Right.
we
Yeah.
come up like you guys came up, but down here he had to move down here. So okay, I got a family member that's down here that I can say
Right.
connect with, plugged in. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
roll with them to the grocery store, find out where this at, that, yeah, and that
Right.
was
Right. Yeah.
cool. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
remember calling you like, yo, who this cat here, yo?
Yeah. He was like, he was like, yeah. I remember he was like, yo, I never seen him at no family function. I said, yeah, bro, he was in prison. He in and out of prison. That was his thing, bro.
Yeah, because like, he keeps saying family. I'm like, dude, I ain't never seen you before. I've been around 20 years at the time.
Yeah. I know he named everybody in the family, bro. I know he named everybody.
Absolutely.
Word up.
Drew said it seems to me like she's so guilty by knowing, but for whatever reason she denied. She even said that she wants a relationship, but the DNA is wrong. And that's the other thing that killed me too, because she was like, I wanted this for so long, and Kirk like, yo, all you gotta do is fess up and tell me the truth.
That's all you gotta do. We got it. You ain't even gotta fix. Just finally admit it. We got the paperwork right in the receipt. It's right here, Ma. All I'm asking you to do is to admit it. She couldn't even do that.
Yeah. Yeah, good comment, Rochelle. Rochelle said you also have to take into consideration that mental illness can play a part in postpartum depression. Absolutely.
So that's exactly what it was. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Absolutely.
But it's just like I can't forgive her, right? And it's not my place to forgive her, but I can't forgive her when all this evidence is right here in front of you, and you specifically out of your own mouth say, Kirk, is this going to stop us from going forward? And he tells you to your face, if you can't give me this and you can't tell the truth, ain't no hug, there is no kiss, no friends,
no joking. Yeah, he told her no smiles and nothing. Yeah, he told her.
So how can I give you this? I'm giving you an out. And she still didn't want to take the out. And God forbid the aunt. I almost wanted to meet the aunt to smack him when he first called her. You know, can I excuse me? And what color? Do you see the face that he made? Thank you.
Why was it so important for him to say auntie? Was you an auntie to him?
Exactly. Growing up?
Yeah, because listen, I don't know why you demand that type of respect when you these people crazy, bro. People crazy. It's a mental, like she said, it's a mental illness, bro.
Yeah.
And obviously it runs in the family because that was the craziest thing up, bro. When I first seen it, I said, oh, the mother and the aunt is narcissists. Both of them. Bro.
And it's crazy. It's crazy you use that word so much nowadays, but I'm like, it seems like to me the main people that say they're not narcissists are the narcissists.
Absolutely.
Like you're steady saying that you're in denial, but you're the one that's always talking about you. Or every story comes back to you, or how to you. Everything is about you.
You, absolutely, yeah.
But you're never the narcissist. Everybody else is.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And then the mother started getting passive aggressive, like, oh, it is what it is, and like it's just crazy, bro. Like I'm just shaking my head this whole time. Like this is just sad, bro.
And I definitely want to do a show on adoption because I know, like you said, it's hard for me to imagine what that's going like. And me and my man Ronnie was having a conversation about it earlier. He was like, man, I don't know if I would want to know after all these years. But I told him I know at least 16 people that are adopted, and all 16 of them continuously want to know what it is. They want to meet their biological parents, why it is that they didn't stay with them, why they gave them up, whatever. They just want to get.
What it is. Yeah, that's what it is. That feeling, bro. Growing up as a child, bro. Yeah, a feeling of being abandoned. Is absolutely, bro.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's if that's the one thing that you could give them that's more than money. Because Kirk had a saying in the documentary too that stuck with me. I don't know if I wrote it down, but he told the dude. So he had a conversation with the guy that he grew up thinking that was his biological father right before he passed away. And he said, listen, I've been told that I've sold more gospel records than anybody. I've got this, I got that. But anytime I've ever walked into the room, I was the most insecure man because I didn't know who I was or where I came from.
Yeah.
And the stepfather or whoever he was, he's like, He couldn't even give him no closure. You on your deathbed and you still gonna take this to the grave with you. And Kirk said, here it is. Now that he's found out this other guy is his biological father.
Crazy.
I'm dating the wrong man all these years.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy how powerful lies can impact our lives, especially these family dark secrets and all this kind of stuff there.
Right.
And I think that is important. It's easy to say it when you're not going through it, but I think sometimes, man, it's healing in itself. And you could be the one that's on the out at the family reunion. You got to sit at the table by yourself and all that there. But I'm guaranteed you do a lot of people some good just to know the truth.
Right. Absolutely.
Don't have me thinking that, like, me and DeAndre always joked about that. It's like we probably the only two people in the world that don't think that we look alike. But everybody like, yo, when you look at DeAndre, dude, you ain't got to take no DNA test. That's your son. Like,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's different when you don't have those answers. Why don't look like anybody else in my family? I don't look like my grandparents. I don't look like the great aunts. I don't look like anybody. So you grow up, even if it's a family of love that's taking care of you, you're still longing for something on the inside. And I think like if we have those answers, it's important for us to give them to each other.
Facts.
That's what the healing process will become. And it's like he said, he's 53 years old, and I think this might be the first time I ever go. I'm looking forward to actually buying a Kirk Franklin CD because I want to hear the songs on it. I want to hear the songs that was birthed out of this. Because, I believe in that, like, there's so much beauty in our pain, especially when you're talking about artists and things of that nature there. You know what I mean? That's when it really comes out of us, our artistic skills, when we're trying to find a way to cope and deal with that pain.
Facts.
Hey, what's good? Love you too, Dorothy. So let me see. I think I had a few questions on that too. When we talked about the white, he meets with Rick to discuss it. We did that. He's sorry. Yeah. So what did you take away from that though? Like, did it give you a different perspective on Kirk as a man? Forget as an artist.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I respect anyone that has to go through that, bro.
Yeah.
Like I respect him for wanting to know the truth. For it affected him. You can tell that affects anyone, like you said, like emotionally, spiritually, your self-esteem. Like the man said that, he was insecure when he go to perform. I mean, that affects imagine being a huge musical artist, and you still,
that story.
That's crazy, bro.
But it's incomplete. It's incomplete. Just like I always remember Dion talking about after he won the second Super Bowl.
Right.
He was on an overpass in Ohio with the shotgun ready to blow his brains out.
Yeah.
Just back-to-back Super Bowls with two different teams, but there was something that was still missing.
Right.
So we hear too many stories about this to let us know that it's not about the money, it's not about the houses, it's not about the cars, it's not about the bling for some people. And if you are, you're just not a good person at your core. If those things define who you are as an individual.
Facts. I agree 100%, bro.
Because we all, at the end of the day, we all want to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved. I don't care whether you old, fat, short, white, black, Chinese, it don't matter. Everybody wants to be loved.
Especially by your parents.
Exactly.
Especially
if nobody else.
Parents, you look for that acceptance. You look for that love from your parents as a child. Not even as an adult, as a child from childhood.
Absolutely, Rochelle, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. But Rochelle said, "I feel bad that this has happened to him. But we have to look at these celebrities just like they're anybody else. This is something that happens so frequently and goes unreported. Why we should feel the extra sympathy for someone that is a celebrity." And I totally agree. Because, like you say, I mean, we're able to do this because we're able to find out this information because of Kirk's success. But there's somebody that's in Rahway, New Jersey. There's somebody that's in Durham, North Carolina. There's somebody that's in Danville, Virginia. There's somebody in Corpus Christi, Texas. There's somebody in Little Rock, Arkansas that
Fact.
don't have a pot to piss in that's going through the same exact thing.
That thing. Yeah.
But they don't have the resources to get the information to, to get in touch with this one and find these different things out. So, it's just a bad situation for anyone to be in. Like, I'm like you, bro. My respect and my prayers go out to anybody that has to go through anything like this here.
Yeah, bro.
It's like the old saying used to be like, this is something that I wouldn't want to wish on my worst enemy.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Nobody's had to know what that feels like.
Facts.
Let alone, even I remember hearing a T.O. story, how they knew his biological father knew. I don't know if you heard about this, Tajah, but his biological father literally lived across the street from Terrell Owens.
That's crazy, bro.
And he knew him as Mr. Buck or whatever he used to call him.
That's crazy.
He didn't find out that was his biological father until he was 14 years old. And the only reason he found out because it was a girl on the block that he was trying to kick it to, and they like, yo, you can't talk to her. And that's the way it came out. You can't mess with her because that's your sister.
Your sister. Wow, yeah. That's crazy, bro.
Exactly. Right across the street.
Let me tell you, I'm not close to my father's side of the family. We had, out of my father's side of the family, my father was the youngest sibling. So we were the youngest grandchildren. You understand what I'm saying? We were the youngest.
Like the cousins, yeah.
Right. All my cousins on my father's side are all older. Okay. So we're not close. We're not close to them at all. And I forgot, I lost my train of thought, bro. I forgot what I was gonna say, what I was touching on. That fast. but I think the point that I was trying to make was they never stood in contact with us. We were the babies. Like they never stood in contact with us. They never I got my point back. And I remember my mother saying, like, telling my father, like, you need to, speak to your family because you don't want one day me messing with one of my cousins. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I'm not familiar with my family. And they stay right in Edison.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they stay right in Edison. Right in Potters.
Over. Yeah.
Right in Potters Crossings. So, like, they never, like, I think maybe I'm lying, 2 cousins. But they were the babies. So they're not that much older than us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like that's a fact, bro. Like, that's a fact, bro. You don't want to. Man, listen, bro. I got stories, bro. I can tell you some mess, bro. Yeah, I mean, just for being around like certain people, bro. Like certain situations, man. Like it's just crazy, bro.
I tell people that all the time. Like, me and Rodney was like, it's not funny at all. But I met people like that when I lived in Little Rock, Arkansas. I know people like that in Jersey. I know people like that in North Carolina.
Where all over, bro.
Your brother is your cousin and your brother.
Well, what's the craziest thing ever, bro? Like, listen, in the hood I grew up in, bro. Oh, bro, it's the craziest thing ever. I don't even want to kick nobody back in, bro. But it's the craziest thing ever, bro. That's your cousin's sister. Your cousin's sister. What? That's my brother cousin. I don't know. That's my uncle brother. It's just the craziest thing ever, bro. The craziest thing ever, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't understand it, man. Juice said, I look at some of the older folks talk about the younger generation. She got 4 men he been sleeping all over. Them older folks hold some of the biggest secrets. Absolutely.
You know what I say, bro. You know what I say. I don't care what my mother gets so pissed off. I tell her all the time. Like, yo, your generation failed us. I say this to her all the time. Like, your generation failed. Oh, y'all, I said, listen. As black folks, this is gonna be a whole nother political statement. I know people gonna make all type of statements after this, but I said to her, this is exactly what I said to her. I said, y'all failed us. Y'all generation failed us because after Malcolm and Martin died, we was left with no leaders.
Yeah, true indeed.
We had Al Sharpton. Okay. That was our spokesperson.
And he was a money grab. We knew he was about the money.
Absolutely.
Ain't nobody care about no Jesse Jackson. That
was my second one. She got pissed. I didn't even want to say him, but she got pissed off when I said Jesse. But you know, I'm just speaking.
I never respected him as a man either. And I get back to Jesse, but Rochelle said, God forgive me if I'm wrong, but this also seems like another publicity stunt to get ratings for his new dating show on BET to get his face out there more. And now it's filling up his pockets. This seems to be a really internet private situation that he is broadcasting worldwide. You can't tell me he's not getting paid for this, and what makes me less sympathetic. I understand that viewpoint too. Now, I kind of play devil's advocate, right? Because I don't like to judge people. That's a matter of opinion that this is a private matter. You know what I mean? Some people might say, you know what? Yeah, it's a private matter, but if we all can get a check out of this, then so be it. You know what I mean? That's some people's mentality. I did question the timing of it, like you said. The album comes out Friday. I didn't even take into consideration the show on BET because I won't watch that regardless. But you know, it is an interesting timing for all of this to come to light. You know what I mean? It's like perfect timing. Like I told Rodney earlier, I said his marketing people were genius for this to be the right timing. Because I got a brand new album coming out, like you said, he got a new show out. So, you know, we just never know. But either way, at the surface of the matter, if it's all actual factual true, then it's still a sad situation. You know what I mean?
Right. And another thing on that is that's the thing now. Like even when New Edition did they buy out they movie whatever it's called. BBD dropped right after that. BBD dropped the album right after that, right after the movie was shared, because they was gonna drop a New Edition album, but they all couldn't get to agree collectively or whatever the case. They had going on internally in their group, but BBD ended up dropping, and then after that, they still rolled away because BBD and Bobby Brown went on tour together.
Yeah, and then Ralph joined them too.
It's sort of like the thing, but I agree with her. That's exactly what they team did.
Yeah.
All right, listen, you got an album. We could drop an album, or you working on the album, or you going through this. We'll document it, make it into a movie. We'll capitalize off of it. That's exactly what they're doing. Absolutely.
And that's the thing now. The whole family gonna come up.
That's the thing now.
We got to get all this new money, and it's crazy if that's just the alternative motive is to make money. But I can't say that you're wrong or right for doing that because I don't know what I would do facing that situation myself.
Thanks.
I would like to think that I wouldn't sell out, but you know what I mean? I ain't never had $5 million before. And if you're going to give me $5 million just to tell my truth, you know what I mean? I might be, hey.
Right.
And we going on a family vacation together to celebrate.
Yep. You're right. I'm pretty sure Auntie got a check too. His mother got a check.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, she got a check.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure all parties involved got a check out of that.
Nicole said Kurt is just a bump away from dancing like a stripper. Okay, sorry, wrong topic.
Hilarious.
Yeah, man. So again, this day in history, we're gonna transition on over to the OJ, right?
Let's do it.
And the thing is, I was reminiscing about the whole case is like I said, you know, people our age group, it's like you remember where you were. But I remember specifically, the biggest thing that I remember was to show us, even in 1995, how racially divided our country still was. Because it was cameras everywhere. There was cameras in courtrooms. There was cameras in coffee shops. There was cameras in gyms. There was cameras at gas stations. And all of Black America had one reaction, and white America had a totally different reaction. And it just showed you, like, I mean, these people white folk were passing out. Like,
what? Having a fit.
Like, yo, get it. Somebody grab a rope so we can lynch this joker. Like,
yeah. I remember the funniest thing real quick. I remember a comedian said, the white people was like, he's guilty. He's guilty. The black community say, even if he is guilty, we got one off out of in history out of how many?
You can't.
Yeah, we celebrate. Yeah, we celebrate.
Yeah, because even Rock was talking about that earlier, and I know everybody's entitled to their opinion. They can feel one way, way or another, but I know where I stand at, and I've always said, like, one, he went through the system like he was supposed to.
Yeah.
So I can't say, I'm not going to say, well, I know he did it. I don't know nothing.
No.
All I know, the man went to court for it. You know what I mean? And he got acquitted. But yet, no, they locked him up for stealing back his own stuff.
They had to get him one way or another. They was
getting 8 years. But even after that, he did his 8 years. He did his time. So how much time is supposed to go by before you make amends, or people let you live your life?
Not in this country.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because white people were so pissed off when OJ got beat that case. But it was no type of uproar rage out of any of the black kids that was killed by these police officers. Okay? America is so
racist. Yo, 5 Big, that's a good point. Because I was there. I got my little sticker over here. You made a good point. Said the OJ verdict was a strategic move. Let me go ahead and put that on this screen here. Where is it? The OJ verdict was a strategic move. They found OJ not guilty because the Million Man March was the next week. And it absolutely was. OJ verdict was.
I forgot. Sure was.
And the Million Man March was on October 16, 1996.
Yeah, they don't want to do that. That would have been. You right.
That's a good point, Fa.
That's they don't want to do that. You right.
Because I remember going to the Million Man March and literally to this day I always say, like, if you wasn't there, you really it's hard to describe that feeling. You know what I mean? But I do know I have personal convictions because we left off of Lyons Avenue. Man, John, we left Newark about 40 cars deep. Me and cats that I worked at the airport with. We literally had 40 cars all loaded up. Right. We go down there, we drive down there together, and we left about maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We get to DC maybe like 6, 7. We park an hour away from DC. Right? Because, and when we parked, bruh, it was so many people at the train stations. This was the very first time. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, bruh. This was the very first time that I felt like scared. Because I had never seen so many black men at one place at one time in my life. And I had to check myself real quick. I had to check myself like, yo, these are brothers. We ain't come in for no BS today. This ain't no Bloods, ain't no Crips, ain't no drama. Like, yo, check yourself. Like, because if you can't understand yourself, how can you expect white folk? You know what I'm saying? And it was like, dude, this is, like I said, this is the scene from one train station that's an hour away from the march. Yeah. And most of that we could get, it was all, hey, what's good, man? I'm Tyrone from Tennessee, man. What's going on? Yeah, absolutely. Like, it was so much unity, like, man, and so you can't tell me that we can't do it. And then the thing that another thing that was there that pissed you off of you was there was when you started seeing the media reports, CNN reporting it was 250,000 there, it was 350,000. Dude, we were well over 1 million strong, bro. Right. I'm not saying that it was well over 1 million brothers there, and guess what? It was actually sisters there too. Because they had a whole block downtown from the White House where they were serving the food. We had a whole. I heard. Yeah. Different vendors and stuff. People selling the T-shirts. So it was women out there with us too. You know what I mean? But it was just so it was so powerful to see all these different religions, all these different black people coming together for a common cause, man. Right. And I refuse to let the way they want to document that history, let them steal that moment from us. Because like the way they reported it was all lies. I was there. Right. Yeah, I heard the same thing, bro. A couple of my brothers that attended, they said the same thing. It was well over 1 million, bro. And it was all love. No violence, all love. That's a good point, Five. Big Five said the march was peaceful, then go get his ass and take everything from him. Checkmate. And that's probably exactly what they was thinking. Yeah. Because
Absolutely.
and the sad thing is, I remember leaving there that day so motivated, and that was our whole thing. Everybody left it. We left with the intention to go back into our communities and give back and become more involved and be
Absolutely.
more unity. But none of this stuff ever matriculated.
Nope.
You
Because
didn't
of the
see all
OJ,
these
bro.
things resonate back when we got back to the crib.
Yeah.
Most white people used to say about OJ found not guilty, money talk, bullshit walk. And it's true. Like you say, like the comedian say though, bro, you talking about the
Y'all
one
been,
time in history, the one time in history.
hey, y'all been doing it forever. So what is y'all don't understand what the craziest thing ever, bro?
It's the one time that in history that y'all system worked for us, worked our advantage.
Right. Right.
And now you want to be in an uproar?
Oh, they was pissed off because Cochran was doing his thing after that.
Oh,
Everybody started getting off.
like the lawyer.
Yeah, everybody, I don't care who you are. You hired Cochran. It was a rat.
Everybody wanted a piece of Johnny Cochran then, boy.
Absolutely. What? You got OJ off? I need you. Give me your firm card, please. Absolutely.
Everybody.
Absolutely.
Went up.
All the rappers in the
Shout out
90s.
Robert Kardashian too, because we don't really get into the conspiracy theories and all of that there. But I'm just gonna give my personal take because I was always fascinated with OJ as a football player. So I remember like doing research and stuff, and I watched the trap every single day that it was available. Oh, before I even get into that, that was another thing that was crazy to me too. Like when you go back and you watch the footage, because the Knicks was in the playoffs that year, and they interrupted the game because of the police chase, because of the Bronco chase. Now, think about this, right? As it might have been maybe 2 hours in, him and AC. Shout out to AC. AC a real one.
Absolutely.
Everybody need an AC in their life. I always said everybody needs
everybody. Absolutely. That is the meaning of a right-hand man, bro.
That's it, yo. I got you, bro.
Absolutely. He is a rider. I don't care what nobody says.
AC, everybody need an AC in their life. And I always say that. I'm dead serious, bro. You gotta have AC. But
absolutely,
it was crazy to me. Like the internet was still brand new, right?
Yeah.
There was no such thing as MySpace. There was no such thing as Black Planet. There was no such thing as. So I'm like, yo, in an era where we had no social media, how is it that you start watching this chase on live television, being interrupting Game 7 of the NBA playoffs?
Finals, yeah, it's crazy.
People are standing on bridges with banners. Go OJ! Every stop, bro. It wasn't like no one block or one significant area. Yeah. It was like pandemonium all over California on the 405. People lining up just to get a glimpse of the Bronco. I'm like, how did the word spread that fast?
Yeah. Well, you know that's because we took that law, that Rodney King loss in 91. What was that, 91, 92?
90, yeah.
91, 92. We took that Rodney King loss, bro. Of course, black folks was excited when OJ got off.
Absolutely.
And listen, bro.
We've been
taking losses in this country for 400 years, bro.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I think that Rodney King had a lot to do with them finding OJ not guilty, because if they had found OJ guilty after the Rodney King and those 4 cops, we would have had a whole other civil war. It would have been a new civil war.
Yeah, I don't think they was ready for that. I don't think California ready for that. Another one, bro.
Because I was in high school at the time, and I do remember, I remember vividly, watching the video and crying, right? Especially, this before DVDs. So
you talk about the Rodney King.
Rodney King, yeah.
Correct.
It was like, and I talked about the racial divide that from the OJ trial, but I remember significantly the day that they released the tape, because it was up in arms for a while whether they should release the tape or should they not.
Right.
And when they finally released the tape, that was the very first day in my entire life that I lost complete faith in the judicial system. I was foolish enough to believe all that. Dude, like I said, but this before cell phones and all that did. We got it in black and white, bro. We got it in color. They beat this man for 2 minutes and 43 seconds, and they all walked. Like, how is it that you can have this evidence? This is not hearsay. You're looking at it.
It's messed up because our mentality when we first seen it, it wasn't, it was a shock for white America to see that. For us, it's sad because it wasn't a shock for us. We're like, damn, another one.
Exactly.
Oh, they finally got this on tape. That's how it was for us. Like, yeah, they finally got it on. We finally got it on tape. Like, yeah, he gonna win this. Like, he about to get paid. Yada yada yada. Not guilty. All four of them. All 4 or 5 officers.
Exactly. Bang bang.
And then show them smiling walking out of court on the news. Yeah, that aggravated a lot of people. Of course, you had an uproar, bro. Like that aggravated a lot of black folks, bro. We need another uprising like that, bro. I don't care what nobody say, bro. How many black kids done died, bro? With the police. Listen, I wish black folks stop marching, bro. It's not effective.
I'm with you.
It's not effective, bro.
Non-violence only goes but so far. I'm not saying that we gotta get violent, but come on, man. Like,
if you want to march on the Capitol where they make the laws at. That's what y'all need to be reaching out to, the lawmakers.
And you hit the nail on the head, Fi said, I'm trying to get it over here, Fi. Oh, that's what that is.
Looking for baby girl.
He said, we have no nationality. We mean nothing to this country. And I'm 100% with you on that, bro, because it's like you said, I always go back to January 6, 2021. If that had been black folk like we just talking about right now, because and everything else, it would have been at least 300 dead niggas out there in front of the White House.
At least.
We wouldn't even get the Capitol.
At least. Listen, I told my old earth, my mother, the same thing, bro. Okay? Told her the same thing. If that was black folks, they would have killed every last one of them out there, bro.
We didn't even got to the Capitol.
There ain't no such thing as rounding them up, arresting them. You would have seen tear gas, all types of, man, listen, man, please, bro.
It was a total different outcome.
Oh, there's an uprising at the Capitol. Oh, we uprising now. It would have been all totally different. I wonder how many of them people got locked up.
I think they up to maybe like 20, but they just starting to lock people up now.
Are they doing time? And how much time are y'all giving out?
I think the longest one of the Proud Boys owners, and he ain't white either, but I think he got like 14 years. Few others giving in like 3 years, 4 years.
That's
like, come on, man.
Bro. Yo, all of them should be charged with terroristic.
He was sitting up there on the center of the table with his feet up, taking a picture with the flag. Like,
yo, they all should be locked up for terroristic attacks on American soil. Every last one of them, bro.
Absolutely.
You could imagine the charges they would have gave us, bro. They would have hit us with everything in the book, bro.
Nobody. You're right, Fi. At the national conference, what country represents blacks? Like you said, it's nobody.
There is nothing.
It's funny because I was watching a documentary on just comedy and how the comedy was, black comedy really enforced the impact of black comedy and the Dick Gregory's and the Richard and all that, how they pushed the envelope. And one of the things that Malcolm X at the time was saying, and Paul Mooney of all people, we know Paul Mooney as a comedian, but Paul Mooney was like, why is it that over here in America, the Chinese come over here, they Chinese American. If you're Polish, you're Polish American. If you're Irish, you're Irish American. It's like everybody has something except for us. We don't have anything to call us. You know what I mean? That's why we was going by Negroes. That's why we was going by blacks. Now they want to change that to African American. And I've never been a fond of African American either because my best friend is Liberian. Right? So if we as black people that was born and raised here are African Americans, who are African Americans that's from Africa that move over here?
Listen, they saying that they're not even they're saying this been said, but it's a big thing now, like the earth being flat, a big discussion like that is that we already been in this country when they arrived.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's reports Columbus saying that they see, I see Ethiopians over in these countries. You understand what I'm saying? He thought he didn't know he thought he was in India when he came to America. That's why he said, they was Indians. bro. That's a whole big different conversation, bro.
Yeah, it is. It really
That's
is.
a whole big conversation, bro.
Because I was reading and I said I gotta really do my due diligence on this, but I've heard several times. I remember an episode of ATL,
Mm-hmm.
the first one, and they were talking about that. And I've heard this before. I just never been able to do my due diligence and my own research to find out. But they were saying, me and shout out to Trent. So we was doing a live Saturday night after what went down in Newark with Raz Baraka.
Right.
But we were talking about how somebody had brought up how every Great Lake in America is built on top of an old black city.
Every last one of them.
And I was like, that's like crazy to me. And one of the guys, he said that you could even look it up to where Central Park, there in New York, one of the country's biggest parks.
Yes, that was
used
us.
to be a black city.
Yeah.
It used to be where Central Park is right now. That used to be a black city. That was black one and everything else.
Everything from us, Rosewood, Black Stock Market, name it.
Yeah.
All upstate New York was a black community, bro. From what I read. And that's why we never have.
They gotta stop that too, Big Fine. That's why critical race theory is very important too, and we gotta stop all this bureaucracy when it comes to that, because I was kind of skeptical when I first started hearing about CRT and whether they should teach it or not in schools or not. But before I get in that, Big Five said new Florida standards teach students that some black people benefited from slavery because it's taught useful skills, and that's
crazy, bro.
Yeah, and it's not. And the thing is, it's not just Florida, right?
I remember my child would have attended that school, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
Listen,
they would have a problem with me, bro. I would make the news, bro.
Check this out, y'all. So when I did my first show on critical race theory, and I was kind of still on the fence at the time, somebody, one of the supporters of the show, sent me documentation of the curriculum from the school where it shows the whole paragraph, and it's one particular sentence that stood out that said that when the African Americans, when they came over here as workers. They refused to call them slaves. They refused to call us slaves. They said they came over here as workers. Now, the one thing that they said, and is I've always, you know me, I've always used sports analogies, right? The further away we get from Michael Jordan retiring, the better his numbers are gonna be.
Right.
Like the more you get away from a thing, the more you could change that history or that narrative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carry that over 400 years later, they're actually calling enslaved people that were kings, queens, businessmen, everything else that was so
kidnapped from their country.
Because like we were talking about earlier with the Kirk situation, there's just jacked up people in the world. Because there were some Africans that were selling their own family members into slavery for a buck.
But it was a different type. It was okay. Let me speak on that. Because it was a different type of slavery that African villages was doing towards each other. It wasn't nothing under the same conditions as the white man put us under.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I see what you're saying. What I'm saying is it ain't changed. It's sure. Like I'm quite sure someone would have said it. I didn't know they were gonna go through all that. I might have not sold them. But the fact is, you still sold the people into slavery. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't think it was gonna be as bad.
Yeah, but slavery was part of this. It was called the slave trade. It was, they set it up trading posts in Africa, bro. They set up before we even were selling, trading or whatever.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. We appreciate that. And you are not alone. Said I feel so upset for all the struggles that Black race had to endure on the behalf of Caucasian race. I am so very sorry.
Appreciate that.
Very, very true. Even in North Carolina too, late in Chimney Rock. Yeah, absolutely. Wilmington on fire. I would tell people that when I first moved here, because I actually started high school in Wilmington instead of Newark. But if you study Wilmington's history, Wilmington was existent in the late 1800s. Wilmington was an already black city before Tulsa, Oklahoma. They had their own newspaper, bro. They had their own hospital. They had their own grocery stores. They had their own everything. Like we didn't have to go into the white communities for anything. And white people didn't like that because black people were living out at the time, and they wound up. It's like one of the biggest massacres in American history because black people, they didn't have access to guns like we do now. So they went in there, they burnt their houses up, shot everybody else up, men, women, children, they didn't matter. It took the land for themselves. And that's crazy to me. You know, even when you look at Rosewood and different things of that nature there, because a white woman lied, go get a rope. Just think about that.
And kill off the whole town.
They could say, go get a rope and hang a human being. Let us do that to one person that raped our sister or our family member. And we get the death penalty.
Come on, bro.
We get the death penalty.
Yeah. I say this all the time, bro. White people just lucky that we want equality and not revenge, bro.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the reasons with CRT, it says CRST. I think that's one of the things about critical race theory that why they want to change that narrative so much, because they don't realize for the most part of us as a unit, we can't speak for everybody, but as a whole, generally speaking, we just want acknowledgement. Like we were talking about Kirk.
They're not even gonna acknowledge. That's why we can't even come. They don't even want to give us reparations.
That's what I'm saying. They think because
don't we deserve, like, y'all crazy, like white folks is crazy, bro. Yeah. How don't we deserve reparations? It's just the craziest thing to me, bro. The craziest thing to me.
You're absolutely right with that, Fi. And we'll never be equal. And I had this argument with people too that, believe in equal rights and all that kind of stuff there. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing because we need everybody. But to prove your point that we're not equal and we never will be equal in this particular country is all you got to do is go to the Constitution. It says
about to say that. Yep.
3/5 of a man. How the hell can you be 3/5 of a person? How's that even possible?
It's the craziest thing ever, bro.
You 3/5 human, 2/5 animal, 2/5 dog. Like, how can you not be a whole person?
Yeah, it just show you the mentality, how they feel, how they see us. And this is passed on from generation to generation to generation, bro. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah. I do like to be optimistic and think that things will never be fair, things will never be right, but I do believe that things will continue to get better because these younger generations, when I look at like Lisha and his friends that he went to high school with, a lot of these, you know what I mean? They got the racist grandfathers and all that did. But guess what? Raheem ain't never did nothing to me. We just play basketball together. We play sports together. I sleep at his house. He can't come over here, but when I go over there, his family show me love. So I don't know what's about that, Daddy. I'm not swallowing that pill. And I think the more and more these younger generations take up and take the responsibility and say, look, we're not going for that there no more. Those days are over. We going dead that there. Because the children really are the future, like Whitney used to always say.
Yeah, and that's definitely a fact because you see way more interracial couples nowadays than I ever seen in my life.
In history.
Yep, ever, bro.
And that's a whole different conversation for another show too, because it's so much factors into that. But a lot of these young girls, they want to get back at daddy, so that's why they going after the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Just to piss daddy off.
You're right. That's a whole nother. You're right. That's a whole nother. I don't even want to. Yeah, we'll touch on that one day. Definitely. Yeah. We definitely gotta have a whole session on that. Yeah, bro. Facts, man.
So before we get out of here, though, we got to get on this here. Like I said, man, it's crazy to me, bro, that 27 years later, they finally arrested somebody. And I think about this too. We were talking about it briefly on one of the other shows, and when we do another hip hop show, we're gonna actually get into that. The whole who do we think are our top 5 or top 10, whatever, most influential. Not the greatest, not the best, but the most influential rapper.
Pop number 1.
Yeah, and it's like and I think, and we gonna, like I said, we gonna say that for that back and forth for that show. But I think Snoop getting kind of close, like, because there's so many more people in the world, and Snoop and his global impact. I just think I don't know. It's kind of it's up in the air. But for me, hands down, on a personal level, I think about this, right?
Uh-huh.
I go back and I look at some of the older Pac interviews, still in Baltimore, with the little half parted down the middle and the half blonde head tops.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the kid.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Joint, big part. It was like, if you listen to what he's saying, he was so far ahead of his time. He was so far ahead of his time as far as just the knowledge that he was kicking.
Yeah, you know absolutely.
And it's like, I think about the fact that, like I said, it's been 27 years before they made an arrest. He died at 25, but we're talking about him as the most influential rapper of all time, and he only had, what, a 3 to 4 year span.
96, 4 year span.
That's crazy to me.
4 year, and don't forget his movies. And they locked him up.
Yeah, what I'm talking about. Global impact. He did everything he left that impression on us within a 4 or 5 year span top.
Listen, Pac was the first rapper to unite Bloods and Crips, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
No one man should have all that power. They had to get rid of that, bro. Bro, while he was in prison, other gangs will write him to ask him to lead their gang. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
From all walks of the on the earth in the United States, bro. That's just crazy, bro.
All right, so far you gonna be on that next one. We doing hip hop. Big Fox said Tupac still alive.
It sound like my wife. It sound like Queen say that all the time, bro. He in Cuba.
And it's crazy. You know, we talking about his impact. I had wrote that down. I said I dare to say Pac in today's society, I don't think that he would have necessarily made it to be where he was because of like the way social media and a lot of the things are caught on tape now, and we're in such a sensitive. We living in an era of PC, political correctness, and all that kind of stuff. There, I don't even give him the opportunity to blow up like he did.
I think Pac would have been ahead of all of it. I think Pac would have been ahead and ready for all of this stuff that's going on now, bro. Like, I think Pac would have had a podcast, bro. I think Pac would have definitely had like any type of outlet where he could reach people, bro. Like reach the youth. That was his main thing, bro. Like reaching the youth, like was his main thing, bro. As far as influence and impact, bro. Everybody wanted to be Pac, bro. Yeah. And I don't care what you 50 Cent, Ja Rule, name all these rappers that came up after Pac died, bro. They all little Pacs. Tattoos. Everybody. Listen, bro. Pac is the most influential, bro. I don't care what you say, bro. DMX, all of these, bro. All of them, they all little Pacs, bro.
Rochelle said he was Elvis.
You said what?
Rochelle said, yeah, he with Elvis.
Yeah.
We know Elvis, man.
That's what I said. Michael Jackson and Prince is on the same beach.
All right. I had another question. I'm gonna say that one for another show. Let's see. And this was a quote that I was watching in some of the research that I was doing on Pac. Smug said, I never had a police record until I had a record on the charts.
No, that's a fact.
That's crazy too.
That's a fact, though. Ain't never been. That's crazy. Okay, until he spoke on police brutality on his album, that's when he started getting arrested. It's crazy. Like,
that's a good question, Pac. I'm gonna let Ja answer it first, and I give my answer. But he said, nobody, no death certificate, the money missing, had the resources, had to get away, still alive. Okay. But then he said Pac was influenced by many. How was he the biggest influencer?
All influencers are influenced by someone.
Yeah. And that's what I was
even leader. All leaders are influenced by someone.
Yeah. And I'll even take it a step further. I believe this, and I don't have any fact. We could always do hearsay, but I do believe that one of the things that separated Pac, like I believe that what we in like the church, what we call men of God. And a lot of church people don't like for me to say this, but I stand on what I say. I don't care how you feel about it, but I believe that there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about how some gifts come without repentance. You know what I mean? Whitney Houston had a gift to sing, whether she sung gospel or not. She had a gift that was given to her to God, and God does not. He does not withhold those gifts from us just because we don't give it back to Him. Right? I believe that Tupac was a man of God, like in that aspect. And the reason that I say that is I do believe that if Pac had said to put these guns down, like you alluded to earlier, he was the first one that had to sit down and had a peace truce between the Bloods and the Crips. If Pac had said, look, yo, we need to put these guns down, I think half these dudes that's got murdered in Chicago, in LA, all over this world by gun violence, they would have put those guns down just because Pac said so. That's an influencer to me. That's impactful because not too many people would actually listen to that. And of course, everybody wouldn't have put the guns down, but a lot of them would have just because Pac said so.
Right, that's a fact. That is a fact, bro. He had a major following, bro.
Absolutely, he said not by stretches. I feel you. That I stand on that though. Pac was an influencer. Like even though he was out there with Death Row, and I used to hate that about. I never was a Pac fan for one, but I didn't like all the flip flopping. You from Baltimore, then you go over to the LA out to Oakland.
He's not from Baltimore. He's from Harlem.
Well, he was born. His earlier years. He was born. No, he went to high school. Baltimore.
Yes, he was in Harlem, bro. He was in New York for a minute. Then he went to Baltimore.
Because Baltimore is where him and Jada was going to school.
But that was the school. He was in high school by then. The school, gifted and talented, whatever type of gifted art school or whatever he was in. Okay. Then I
believe that too. Big Five. Dorothy said, truly enjoying this podcast. You both should do more on a variety of subjects. We do. It's different from every week. It's different on every week. But with the Pac, let me see. Y'all already said. I just said that one. Another fun fact about Pac too was, and I wrote that down because it stuck out to me when he got beat up by the police out there in Beverly Hills. No, in Oakland. And he sued the Oakland police force for $10 million at that time with major money. But they beat him up, and the charges were jaywalking, bro. They beat the man down from jaywalking, and when you watch the footage, this was maybe 92-ish, 93-ish. And what's the first thing you hear Pac saying when he's down on the ground? What's the first thing you hear him saying? I can't breathe.
Right? That's always the response.
It's crazy to me that in 1992, Pac was saying this as a celebrity. You fast forward to these years later over in New York with Eric Gardner selling Lucy's. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. George Floyd. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I'm not trying to connect no dots that ain't there or cross no T's that don't need to be connected. But I just find it very peculiar that these certain sayings keep coming up when it comes to Black men losing their lives. What you think about that, Ja?
I think Pac predicted the future on a lot of stuff, and that's why I think he's viewed as a prophet to many because, bro, he spoke on all issues and topics that really went on in the Black community and things that we were dealing with. And what would come in the future? Because if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that'll hate the ladies and make the babies. That's all we have now, bro. These little kids is out here killing each other over the dumbest thing, bro.
Yep.
Dumbest thing, bro.
Excuse me that you could go on Facebook. Like you could get it on Facebook. You could go to Facebook jail for saying the wrong words, the wrong keywords. But yeah, no, you could go on YouTube and on Facebook and watch a live murder.
The craziest thing ever.
How does that?
It's just crazy, bro. Bro, I just look at some of this stuff, bro. I'm like, this is just. Just the craziest thing ever, bro. Like, are these really the times?
Yeah.
Because everything that they said was going to come to is you see it.
Mm-hmm.
You see it, bro. I mean,
Man,
from natural disasters to
positivity ahead. I know I don't anyway. It's hard to, you know what I'm saying, say like, well, nah, things gonna get better, things gonna get better, things gonna get better. I like to
right,
hope that it would be, but I don't
right,
see it now because it seems like everything is getting progressively worse.
right,
And it's
right.
like when it's happening to so much, dude. We all were crying, we all were marching in the streets, all the celebrities, they sitting out
Yep.
of games when George Floyd happened, but the police killing our youth has not stopped, and it's almost like we're numb to it now. So it's like it's not as fresh as it was before. So
Well, right.
it's like we get immune to it,
Yeah.
and that's
And
good.
we just allow it. And we just allow it. It's just the craziest thing. Bro, let me tell you something, bro. Yo, God forbid anything ever happened to my kids, bro. Because something happened, bro. It's gonna be a totally different story for me, bro.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you now, bro. I'm going straight in the bag, bro. They're gonna put me straight in the box, bro. It's gonna be a totally different story, bro. It's just crazy, bro. That's something I just can't accept.
Yeah,
I
that's
would never accept that. I could
we
never come
constantly
to terms to being okay with that.
nationalize this country. This country is a political mess and not respected around the world. I agree with that
That's a
too.
fact too. No, that's
I
a
agree
fact
with that.
too. That's a fact too.
So let me ask you this: while we talking about Pac too, like knowing what you know about history, right? Like we know who shot you.
Right.
That was reported months and months earlier.
Way
That's
before, absolutely.
with Tupac, right? And we
Right.
were talking, having that conversation about why you rapping. And y'all was like, I was actually lying. I gotta admit, I was capping because I like I said, even with sports, I would have been rapping to be the greatest rapper ever.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
whether I got the money or not, because I care about as long as that that boy Marv is nice. That's what I
Nice.
care
Yeah, that's
about.
what
That
you're looking
money.
for. Yeah.
I had to say that I want the money.
Word up. Word up.
But having said that, if you was in Puffy position, knowing what you know now, would you have to ever release who shot you?
Yeah, I don't think
Because
I don't.
that came out maybe within weeks after the quad shooting.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if it came. No, I think it was before. When Pac was shot in '94,
Who shot you definitely came out. Yeah, it came out after the shooting.
he was. Yeah. It came out after the shooting. You
Yeah,
sure, bro? I heard. I
I'm
heard.
positive. I'm positive. It
When did,
wasn't long after that either.
so when did Mary J? When did Mary J's what's her name come out? My Life album. That was in '94, bro.
Yeah, 94.
So Pac was shot in '94.
That's what now I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I was like,
yeah. Not knowing what I know now. First of all, I blame Puffy for Biggie.
and that's my question too. We gonna
That's
get there.
first and foremost. That's first and foremost because you should have never took that man out there. You should have never took him.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
no way he should have been in California. No way he should have been. He shouldn't have been in Texas. Okay.
The
He
way
should have
that
been.
comment was going right there.
He should have toured the whole East Coast and then went across seas.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. I blame Puffy for the whole situation, bro. First of
Yeah.
all, Puffy, the whole situation is over Puffy and Suge Knight.
Absolutely. Had nothing at all to do with Big and Pac.
Nope. And you never heard Pac this big or speak on Big until he was signed to Death Row.
So he got the death row. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think this whole thing, like I blame the whole situation, like them two young men should never lost their life, bro. And we lost two great artists, bro, that was ahead of their time, bro, because of Suge and Diddy being greedy. Bottom line, bro.
Yeah.
Because Suge didn't have nobody. Dre left. Snoop's second album was terrible. I can't tell you one single off Snoop's second album. Okay, and Dog Pound and Lady of Rage wasn't gonna, and Warren G is not gonna hold down Death Row. Matter of fact, Warren G was signed to Def Jam. He wasn't even signed to Death Row.
Yeah, because Big was bringing it back. Big was definitely bringing it back.
Well, he brought it back, but he brought it back. Pac was, especially that's why Pac was pissed off when he was locked up, bro. Because all you heard was Big on the radio. I remember that era, bro. Trust me, I remember that era, bro.
And the fact that he felt like they was boys, and it was like when he did get locked up, Suge was the only one that came to bail him out.
And that's and I don't believe that either, bro. Because Jimmy Iovine say he gave Suge the money to go get Pac out. Jimmy said he just didn't want to go to the jail to go deal with the whatever this he said, but he gave the money. Suge didn't put his money up. Suge just trapped Pac into a contract, bro.
Still the fact that like, yo, whoever bailed me out, whoever get me out of here, I'm in Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? Whoever get me out of here, that's who I'm gonna sign with. So
listen, under the conditions he was in, I would have did the same thing. I would have signed with anybody too to get out of there.
And that's where was Puffy at? Where was Jay Prince? You know what I mean? Where was Puffy? Where was Jay Prince? Where was Master P?
None of them. Ain't none of them, bro. What was Tretch? What was Salt and Pepper? What was all of the people that was supposedly be Shock G? What was all of these people? Because you can't just point the finger at these black label artists. Talk about his friends in the industry. His friends could have got him out. They could have came up with that money. I don't care what nobody say, bro.
All three of them. Spot said Puffy had something to do with Biggie. Yeah, we're gonna get there too. But Puffy had something to do with Biggie's death because of the rumors of Biggie and Jay-Z possibly trading up. Now, and I kind of got off this, but I do remember when it was still fresh, right? I was always saying, like, hypothetically speaking, I have no receipts. Let's be clear, I have no receipts, right? But I always wondered, there was always a part of me that wondered, did Puffy and Suge stage this whole thing because they were the main two that benefited from it, but Puffy benefited more than anybody else.
Listen.
Because think about it, think about it now. Even with Jay, like some rap beefs are real, right? Some are real, but we've come to find out that some of these things that we picking sides on, all of it was publicity stunts and scams too.
Right.
Because
a lot of it. Right.
Either way, we both gonna win. We both gonna get paid in the long run. Fans gonna pick a side, but we ain't. As long as we keep that beef up, it's like a good fight in boxing. You know what I mean? You gotta talk all that smack to you. Yeah, I spent the night at your house. Your mama cooked me dinner. All that there.
Right.
We gotta sell the drama. You know what I mean?
Right.
I always wonder how much of a factor was that, if at all.
Bro, and I say anything possible, bro. I don't. Look, Suge don't have a good reputation as being a straightforward man. And did he? I know he's, bro. Listen, not one artist survived Bad Boy. Okay,
not one. Every artist, which he never had one artist that he signed still with him to this day that he signed, bro. What does that say about your business? Yeah.
I don't care I don't care how great the song is. I don't care if you can pick out a great instrumental. If you got the power to put me on the radio, I could care less, bro.
I'm gonna get it at too, Big Fly. That's a good one.
I would never sign the Bad Boy. I could care what you would. And I was trying to get signed as a rapper in my 20s. I would have never signed the Bad Boy. I don't care what he put in front of me, bro.
I don't know if you watch It Is What It Is, but I'm like a big fan of that. Shout out to Cam, shout out to Mace. I'm glad they got their beef aside and back to being brothers.
That was so dope.
He said something that was very, very interesting at the end of the show last week. And
I know what you're talking about.
And they closed, but he brought up a good point. You know, from when he was starting, he said he's going to add a new segment the way he gonna ask Mace, because Mace don't do no interviews. He going to give Mace 2 questions from the fans. And the first one was, when you brought me, because Mace is documented, Mace is the one that put Cam on.
No, that's a fact.
Was, why did you bring me
Wait. No, that's not a fact. Cam was on Big L's album with McGruff and Mace, and
but he didn't have a deal.
Yeah. He didn't have a deal.
He was a rapper. He wasn't saying like he started.
Mace didn't put him on though. Big L put him. If you on my album, bro, I'll put you on.
Yeah, but Big L was
still, bro. If I put, bro, so who put Jay-Z on? Who put Jay-Z on?
Jazzo.
Okay. Because you're on my album, not because you went on tour with Big Daddy Kane. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm with you for Big Five. But what I'm saying is, I hear exactly what you're saying, John. We put each other on because that's what families do.
But I know exactly what you're saying. But go ahead.
However, was Big L signed to a label at the time?
Yeah.
Who was Big L signed to?
He was signed to whatever. I forgot who he was signed to. Is that I would have to ask Alexa or Google it, bro. He was definitely signed to a label.
Point. Hey, what's good, Ant? That's the whole point. Like, he brought Big to Mace. I mean, Mace brought him to Biggie because Biggie at the time, that's when him and Jay was supposed to be starting the commission.
Facts.
So, that's the question that the fan was asking with me at a good point. Like, Puffy was already established. Why would you take Mace? I mean, why would you take Cam to Biggie, who's getting ready to start a label, as opposed to taking under Puff?
Because I know Puff is a piece of crap. He already screwing me over. Okay? So I need to take you to Big, where I know you're gonna get your money. And that was, bro, that's love. I don't care what nobody say, bro. That's love. Because if I'm a new artist getting my foot in the door, I'm getting robbed for my money. I know that this is the music industry, this is the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring the artist in. I'm gonna try to get something out of the deal. That's what most people gonna think.
Well, have a good night. Yeah, and that I thought that was like a real interesting point too, right? Because we're gonna get into that on another show too. But I always try to tell people things ain't always what they seem. And Big Five, you can get that on the show too when we do it here. But I always try to tell me and my brother, we like everybody look at us like we crazy, right? But we talk about the movie American Gangster, right? Mm-hmm. Great movie.
Yep.
80% false.
Yeah, that's a fact too.
80% false, right?
Yeah.
And anybody that's from Jersey, all you got to do is ask yourself the simple question: the character by Russell Crowe, even though Denzel kills the role as Frank Lucas,
right?
Just think about the premise of the movie, right? Denzel is doing his thing over. Frank Lucas doing his thing over in New York. He got his little cousins doing a little light work over in Newark, New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Now, think about this. Frank had no ties in New Jersey. Who was the Russell Crowe character? He was the lead prosecutor for Essex County, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Check the history. Check the history, fam.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
For the Essex County. That's Jersey.
Oh, Frank I know that's a fact.
Jurisdiction, bro.
Yeah, I know.
He was really after the country boys. He was really after the cousins.
Right.
When you're trying to sell a movie, it sounds good.
Right. I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah, now you're right.
Frank can be wrongful because of that, but it don't make it factual because it was a great movie.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right, bro.
The Essex County prosecutor can't go over somebody in New York, bro.
Right. And that's why he brought down the cousins that brought. Yep. I got you.
I try to tell people like you got to be careful with these movies, like because they're good, but they're not always factual. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're 100% right.
Because I can admit too, like, and I said I think we said this on the show the other day. Like I'm getting sick and tired of, you know what I mean? Stitches get snitches and they don't nobody snitching all that there, and we looking at these different ones, and I'm like, listen, Whether it ain't just a black thing, because if you look at Whitey Ford in up in Boston, in the Boston Mafia, right? There's nowhere in the world that these mugs know who you are. Even Ricky Rose, he talk about it. Like there's nowhere in the world that you're that plugged in, that what you're that untouchable, and you're not with the feds.
Nah, you're working. All of them did. Lucky
All of
Luciano,
them.
all of them was rats, bro. All of them. All of them.
Why you idolize these jokers, bro? You a snitch is a snitch.
Snitch.
Now,
Point blank. Period. Yep.
because even that's the one thing that I did respect about the end of Paid in Full. What Cam says, Rico. Rico said, "Look, I telling you some boys from down south."
No, that's a quote. No, that's an actual quote from Apple. I seen that in the.
I ain't telling no Harlem dude. I ain't telling no
Harlem. Yeah,
still be the king.
You're still a rat.
Dude, that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah, you're all right. I don't respect none of these, bro. You ain't never seen my name in no paperwork ever, bro.
Yeah.
Ever. I don't respect nobody that's a rat, bro. I don't care what nobody say, bro.
And that's the one thing I was watching some of the stuff earlier, the stuff about Keefy D and all this kind of stuff, trying to get his history of who he is and the connections, because it's like it's so long ago. I've heard the name over the years.
Bro, he had immunity. I don't know what I don't understand. He had immunity. They been knew that he was involved.
Exactly.
They been knew. I don't understand so why did they come and get him now?
It was the I can't think of what they called it. It's the properate or something, which is why he thought that he had immunity, but the way that was actually written up, it didn't cover what they accused him of. Like like you say, it took y'all 27 years to figure this out.
They knew that. They knew, bro.
Exactly.
They knew, bro. The man been talking about it on all types of platforms.
That's my whole thing right there. You know, I brought up that Frank Lucas part because are you familiar with Pee Wee Kirkland?
Absolutely.
All right, so Pee Wee Kirkland. For those that don't know, Pee Wee Kirkland was a big time ball player that was a hustler too. But cold in basketball, actually was a first round draft pick for the LA Lakers.
Thanks.
And when he got drafted, he didn't go to the NBA. He said, "Why am I gonna go to the NBA when I'm making $1 million a week right here in the streets of Harlem?" Right now, I watched him do an interview with Vlad or one of those. This is years ago. Right? He said Frank was here. I was here. Right? So the interview was asking him, he was like, "Well, why don't you do a book, or why don't you, do a movie and tell your life story, whatever?" And he said something that always stuck with me that I like to live by. He said, "The ones that tell don't know. And the ones that
don't tell." That's a fact.
Like, why did I tell you how I got away with me being me?
Exactly.
I'm setting up for the next hustler that follow my blueprint.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So it might sound good, and it might sound, good movies like the BMF story being told now and that did. I don't want me a story ever to be told.
Word.
Because the ones that know, they know.
Yeah.
If you don't know. Point blank, period.
Exactly. Game is to be sold, not told, bro.
Exactly. So I always respect that about him. And the reason I brought up Keefy D was because I was watching some stuff with TMZ, my man from TMZ, the white guy that started TMZ. He did a phone interview. Yeah, there you go, Harvey. He did an interview with Suge the day after they arrested Keefy D. And he was asking me, if the state of Las Vegas, if they call you in for questioning, he's like, nah. He said pretty much Suge was saying the same thing as you. They can't come because I'm not taking no stand. Yeah. I'm not helping them do their job. And he's like, well, I can tell you it wasn't Orlando that killed Tupac. And he specifically asked him, he said, even if you know who did it, would you tell him? He said no. He said absolutely not.
It's the craziest thing ever, bro. Because if you hear Keefy D's version of what happened, what he said happened, bro, how did y'all not lock him up, bro?
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand.
He's just a capitalist.
I didn't get him from the door, bro. From the door.
I think he's a bold-faced lie. That's just my personal opinion. I think he a bold-faced lie. He sold his nephew out. He sold all his boys out.
Yeah, he definitely sold his nephew out.
Right? He writes a book. You doing all these kind of interviews. You move back to Vegas, like, dude. Like you said, and if I'm not saying that he feels the same way, but that's what made me think about Pee Wee Kirkland. Those that know don't tell, and those that tell don't know. Yeah, hey man, I've been in jail half my life. I could write a book since I was in the car, right there. I got a million. You know what I mean? What's time? I got some money on my books when I get out of here. If not, I got to leave it for my kids. I ain't never been. You know what I'm saying? So why not go to jail when you almost 60, 70 years old? Like,
yeah, you're stupid, you dummy. He's a fool.
Exactly. I don't understand it because everybody else that's associated with the case is now dead.
Yeah, let me add this real quick too, bro. Cause this is the cherry on the. You know, if they take Keefe D, whatever, Keefe D, yo, Puff is gone. Okay, because he said Puff paid him.
Nah, okay, so check this out. You know,
not for that incident, but he said Puff paid him for TUPAC hit.
Check this out. So you know the comedian TK Kirkland, and you know me, I drop names and stuff on here. That's what we don't do. Exactly. Only reason I say the names that I do is like if I say anybody's name, I'm telling you information that's already out there that you can go look up for yourself.
Right, absolutely.
TK, he does this interview because everybody always said that, like, you know, TK, he was so like gangster, so to speak. That's why he never made it to the level of the Dave Chappelle or the Bill Bellamy, because he didn't want to. He was too much in the streets.
Yeah.
He was a part of it. But they were talking about the dude that he names in the book, Zip. There's a character named Zip that's in the book that was supposedly in the car with them. So supposedly, Zip, Puffy pays, like you talking about, he pays $1 million to Zip to give to Keefe D.
Right.
Now, according to TK Kirkland, he said, nah. He said, I won't confirm it, I won't deny it, but that's a true story. And he said he better be glad that, he was saying Puffy better be glad that the kid Zip stole the money from giving it.
He kept it. Yeah, he kept it.
Because if he had gave it to Keefe D, Puff would have been locked up for, you got a documented hit right now.
Right. But how can they not charge you? We know that they should at least get it for conspiracy. That's conspiracy.
Conspiracy would have been more exactly. That's
conspiracy, bro. That's conspiracy. If we got a paper trail where we can follow you,
that you gave $1 million. What you get is $1 million for? Don't matter that you talk to the next man. You still gave somebody $1 million.
Absolutely. That's not easy money to cover. That's $1 million. We ain't talking about a dub here.
And we're not talking about no rapper. We're not talking about no dancer. This dude has no music affiliation whatsoever. What are you giving this old gangster
money for? Exactly. It's not no investment, no business.
That ain't you weren't paying that for that kind of security back then. Just because you take out to LA.
Nope. Probably after they popped big ass, they probably extorted your ass for $1 million every time you touch down. $1 million a year, you want to come to Cali for now on.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a good point too. He said, Puffy had been in California 30 days before the album release party.
Biggie too.
Yeah, I mean, huh?
Biggie too. Biggie's out
there. That's what
he said.
He said Puffy had Biggie in California 30 days before the album release. Why was that? With all the tension that was going on.
Why is he, bro? Again,
I'm with you. I'm with you. Why you in Cali, period?
You're not going to Cali. You're not going to Vegas. You're not going, listen, we're not doing no shows in Seattle. We're not going, I don't even think we're making it to Boston. To Texas. You want to be honest, bro. I got a big fan base out there too. You're not going out there either, bro.
That's a good point. Big Five said Keefe wasn't arrested because they wanted Suge down now, so let's go get Keefe.
Yeah. Cleaned up shop.
Y'all always said Suge, his favorite movie gotta be my favorite Heartbeats Like Mine, but he took the Big Red character a little bit too far.
And you wasn't really like that. That's what made it even worse. You was paying people to play that role.
Exactly.
You wasn't even like that, bro.
You was a washed up has-been wannabe football player.
Football player that was a bouncer for Bobby Brown after that. And that's how you got to start in the music industry. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, bro. He's responsible for taking black lives too. I don't fuck with Suge either, bro.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. They talk about okay, so this is something else that I had highlighted too. They talk about pop lyrics being violent. I think he had more positive lyrics than violent lyrics. What's your take on that?
I think Pop was Pop, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, one day, listen, if you're an artist, bro, first of all, you gotta look at Pac's you gotta look at the man upbringing, bro. You gotta look at the situation, you know, how he lived his life, you know what I mean? And put that all into one. One day you may be, as an artist, as an MC, one day you might go in the studio, and you might feel, all right, I'm coming at all these bum rappers.
Yeah.
I'm coming at all these whack rappers. Next day you might come in there and be like, yo, I want to do a song to try to uplift my people.
Yeah.
I see a situation on, you know what I mean? Whatever. I want to speak on my community. You might go in there, you might feel like, oh, I gotta do a song about a girl. Bro, he was an artist, bro. He was an artist. He tried to touch. I think a lot of artists did that, bro. I think Michael Jackson did that. I think Prince did that. I think Biggie did that. I think a lot of artists did that, bro. Nas.
Even as me as a musician, like that's one of the things that's frustrating to me as a musician. It's like, yo, you hear a beat in your head, right? And it's like, you got to get that beat out of your head right then and there as a musician. Because if I say I'm going to wait till in the morning, it's not going to feel the same. I'm not going to get the same vibration from it. It's not, you can't mimic that actual instinct that you have as an artist, as a musician. That's why it's important for you to document it then. I was watching a little documentary by Kenny Parker the other day that made me think about you. Matter of fact, it was actually last night.
I see it.
You talking about the whole beef between X-Clan and
BDP. BDP. Yeah. See it.
So he made some good points. So to your point, like you say, KRS is like, yo, you know, I'm the teacher. I'm past just being black. I'm on to humanistic talk right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
What? We can squash the beef, but before we squash the beef, I'm gonna say my piece. Like
absolutely, bro. And
I'm gonna say my piece.
And also like Pac being Pac being an artist and by you know you try to reach you try to get your message across, bro. Mm-hmm. So if I'm dealing with the street, the hood, or whatever, the black community, then I gotta come a certain way. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm trying to reach out to a different community or a different area, you know, I have to rap a certain way, or I had to give him something different. And you know, he was creative to come with different concepts, to not be just stuck in one bag like Nelly, or be stuck in one. Like Nelly can never get out of that dance party. You're not convincing. I'm not gonna believe anything you say, bro.
And there's not too many people that could do that, which is why, like, even me, like, I always try to bring people back, and not trying to sound narcissistic. You talk about narcissists earlier. But it's funny how, like, you know, it took me years, but I was so glad when I finally got comfortable with who God called Marvin Bennett to be, right? Because I realized, like, you know, people always would say, like, well, you're preaching now. And when I go to Jersey, where's the first place I go? Before I come the wrong way to see y'all, I go to the block.
Straight to the north.
Because those was the dudes, even though I grew up in church, those were the dudes that taught me how to love. And as crazy as that sound, that was my truth. Like, they taught me how to love in the streets. So when I get myself together spiritually, I feel it's my obligation to go back and reach for those people.
Exactly.
Because guess what? TD Jakes can't go to Alexander.
Nope.
Exactly. Can't go to Alexander.
Exactly.
So all I got to do is be the best version that God created me to be, and use the gift that He's given me, because He's given all of us different audiences. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be comfortable in that aspect of it. And like you say, I don't think that not Puff, but Pac had a unique impact when it came to, like you said, that inner city, because he wasn't just talking about. To me, he wasn't just talking about violence. He was talking about learning your history. I learned that Malcolm X mentality. Stand up for yourself. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
He's like,
I was just gonna say all the values and morals his mother embedded in him, he tried to give to the black community. You understand what I'm saying? And the same thing was with Bob Marley. Tried to do the same thing when he learned about, Rastafari. Something he believed in. He tried to express that.
Yeah, that's it's funny. It's funny that you would say that. I'm trying to put that up there. He said, and we kind of hit on that early. He said they kill anyone that tries to uplift black people. And the reason I agree with that is, and we're gonna get out of here soon, but I gotta say this, right? And this for everybody that's viewing, this for anybody that might watch in the future, whatever. We gotta stop being suckers. And what I mean by that is, we gotta stop just worrying about our personal safety, our personal, like we talked about that. You talked about that. Our parents' generation failing us. We ain't had nobody from that gap between Martin and Malcolm until somebody like Pac come along and try to make a difference and different things of that nature there. Right. But a lot of that stems from fear too. People, because we know that they're gonna get us assassinated. I talked about that's why Malcolm X meant so much to me. He knew he was gonna die.
He knew, he was front line.
He knew it.
Pac was front line too. Pac knew too.
Yeah.
Old dirty bastard. I'm telling you, they're gonna kill. ODB will tell you, bro. They're gonna kill me because I'm teaching you the truth.
And I seen a clip of, it was something that I watched though, because these days on YouTube they got all this kind of stuff. But they were showing at least like 10 or 15 different interviews that ODB and Meth did together over the course of different years or whatever. And every time ODB, everybody would think he drunk or he high. He was like, "Yo, they gonna try to kill me, yo. They gonna kill me." And every time he would start going that direction, Meth would like get like a look like, "Bro,
yeah, I seen it. Yeah, I seen it, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro.
But it's like in real time, I don't remember none of that. Yeah, that's crazy though.
Yeah, bro. You gotta watch what you say, bro. America's different. They move different, bro. America move different, bro. Especially towards our people, bro.
No doubt. And that's why I really felt led to share that though, because not necessarily sucker in a negative connotation. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, whether you Christian, whether you 5%er, no matter whether you Islam, no matter what you believe,
right?
You got to be willing to die for what it is that you believe. If it's your family, if it's like your community, like we got to stop just taking a back seat and, well, the system is corrupt and, what am I supposed to do about it?
Right.
Like, as long as we take that mentality, we're not going to win.
We're going to lose. Absolutely. Yep.
We got to take these stands for our grandchildren, our great grandchildren. Because guess what? All those black folk that died for us to have the right to vote, they didn't realize that one day we was gonna have a black president. They didn't realize one day women was gonna be able to vote. They didn't realize one day we was actually gonna be able to walk in there and don't have to worry about getting killed for something as simple as voting.
Yeah.
But they still put that legwork in so that we could have that right and be the ability to do these things. So when are we going to have the same mentality to say, you know what, we gonna fight against police brutality in our communities, not for me, not for you, not for our kids, but for our grandkids, for our great grandchildren, if the world is still around at that particular time. You know what I mean? Because everybody is supposed to build off of the generation that's before them. I've always said that as a father. I always said, and I'm proud of both of my boys and their accomplishments. But I've always said that, right? Always said, and I still stand on it. if they don't wind up better men than me, I feel like I failed them as a father. Like that's my job as a father to make sure that you are a better man than me, that you should learn from my mistakes, that you should learn from my shortcomings. Because if I don't teach you how to do that, I defeated the whole purpose and the blessing in your life.
Facts. I failed. That's facts. I failed as a father. I posted this on Facebook, man, and I lost so many friends, unfriended me. You know, but listen, if you was a street dude, and you was in the streets, and your son is in the streets now, you failed as a father.
Absolutely.
You failed, bro. You failed. Your mission is over, bro. You failed. Mm-hmm. You failed, bro. Your guidance was terrible. I don't care what nobody say, bro. I don't care what nobody say, bro.
And if you keep it real, and it's important, that comes with maturity and growth too, and spirituality. To me personally, I believe. But I remember having a conversation with my one of my brothers and one of my cousins. Right, we all been on a different story, and you know a little bit about my story and what I went through and different ones here. And it's like we, every once in a while we get to the family reunion and we like man, like you was putting in work like that, and you was putting in work like that. But we didn't know that at the same time. Like we had a collective, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that we put some of this money aside to make sure our kids go to school to be the lawyers and doctors. So we ain't got to go hire no lawyer, and you can come represent your uncle, and all the money gonna still stay in the family and these different things. But it was like real bad. That's one thing I credit Puff. Like he took it and ran with it. But I always live by that too. Like real bad boys move in silence. I was never the one to go out there and get a Honda Accord and get the rims and show off what I'm doing. No, you're supposed to. Yeah. No. I'm not trying to bring no attention to what I'm doing. But guess what? I go to the club tonight in the 90s. I'm buying the bar up. Don't matter how I got the ability to do that. We're gonna have a good time tonight.
My OG used to tell me if all your money is into your outfit, then what's in your pocket? Like you fly, yeah, you fly. For this one night, man. For this one night, though.
Yeah, flying broke.
You gotta get up tomorrow.
Yeah, and that I take pride in that, man. It's like, you know what I mean. Like I know I could have did a biopic and all that kind of stuff, and people would love it. But guess what? It's going to the grave with me, bro. Everything is going to the grave with me. I just thank God I got the memories, right?
Right.
Everybody that was there to live life and went above, beneath what I accomplished and what I did, legitimate, unlegitimate. Some of them here to still tell their story.
Right. Yeah. You know I feel you, bro. I feel you 100% on that.
And I'm like you, and you can't find my name on no paperwork. Yeah. I ain't never on nobody.
Nobody. Yeah. Follow the rules no matter how much time I'm going to get. Live and die with the decisions that I'll make, bro. Listen, that was me the whole time, bro. I ain't never switched up. I embedded that in my kids, bro. That's something my kids needed to learn, bro. Like,
I'm like, it looked good, it looked cool, but guess what? You ain't built like that.
No, you ain't never been. You don't know nothing about that.
You not built like that.
You don't know nothing about hard times. You ain't never been in no hood. You don't know what no ghetto is like. Trust me, bro. Like they ain't to this day. They ain't never been to the place I grew up at.
Out the gutter. I remember having a conversation in Little Rock with this. He used to be in the Crips, and we were talking about that there. And it's kind of like when you get older and you start getting in the workforce and stuff. You kind of this is just a personal thing, but I was like you always can kind of tell the ones that got bullied in high school and elementary growing up, because those who become cops and those in the place that's always talking trash and always loud talking. But the only murderer in the room, he's sitting in the corner reading a book somewhere real quiet.
Not saying nothing. That's the one you better watch.
That's like Yep. But it was this young boy that he would always talk about, man, I shoot again, I'll do this and I'll do that. I said, yo, man, won't you just shut up, bro? I'm tired of hearing you talk that talk. I said, do you even have, I ain't talking about no movie. I ain't talking about no TV show. Do you have an idea what it feels like, what it's like to have to live with when you pull that trigger and you see somebody human flesh bust wide open in front of you?
Nope.
Because if you did, guess what? If you had ever done that in your life, you wouldn't be sitting here talking about it now.
Yeah. Because every last murderer live with them they live with them consequences. So you don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Like, come on, man. Like, stop the talk. And not to mention one of my coworkers that was there at the time. This dude is a blood. He was a blood for 20 years out in LA. And this mug he never drunk or smoked anything in his entire life.
Yeah. Yep, different gang rules. Yeah.
Dude, when we first connected, I prayed for him like every single day. And we talked to him on the spiritual talk every single day because I'm like, yo, bro, I like to get it in.
Right.
Drinking. It's like, dude, you done did all that you done did and you never drunk or smoked. Like, how do you deal with the nightmares? Because that stuff doesn't go away, bro.
Yeah.
It stays with you.
Right.
So
absolutely.
I got a whole different prayer life when it comes to you. Like God is mine. God is heart. You know what I mean? And he was one of the best fathers. He passed away of cancer. I miss my boy Ray, but he was one of the best fathers, one of the best husbands, and made sure his kids never saw any of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he really come from
what we glorify.
Exactly.
Like just enjoy the movies and let the movies be the movies. Like
exactly, bro. That's a fact,
like everybody talk about and Paid in Full, because we all do remember that era. But it's like when Scarface came out, like everybody left the movie thinking they gonna be.
And everybody said they was Scarface, yeah.
Like, dude, how you gonna have 15,000 Tony Montanas in one city? Can't happen, bro.
Yeah.
It can't happen.
It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. You can't even have two Scarfaces at one time.
And the more money you get, the more status that you get, guess what? The more dirt you got to do to get there.
Absolutely. That's
the sad reality of the game.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Gets worse and worse. I don't care what nobody says.
Leave that alone, bro. Just leave it alone. If you don't want to deal with the kidnappings and your mama being this here and that there, and they snatching up your wifey and this and that, leave it alone, bro.
Yeah, this is not for you. Yeah.
Enjoy the movie.
Yeah. That's a
you
fact,
ain't ready for it. I promise you are not ready for everything that comes with it.
Yeah. I heard I seen the interview with Shannon Sharp and Mendici.
Okay.
You familiar with Mendici?
Yeah, I know Mendici. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that he put his mother up for collateral one time. That is the crazy, bro.
Man, he said that he did that.
He put his mother up. He said the connect was like, yo, if I'm gonna give you this on consignment, then you're gonna have to give me your mother's address.
That's crazy,
bro. That's crazy, bro. Are you bringing my mother into this mess? Are you crazy? I look at that man like he's crazy, bro.
Because even when they used to, when they first started doing the candy, because I was never really into them love and hip hops and stuff like that. But I did used to check it out every once in a while when I would see Cam or Joel was gonna be there on a commercial, whatever case may be. And I always remember, like, who is this punk nigga man DC? Like, he's a sucker, he's a square. Man, listen, after I got all the information, I said, yo, that's my kind of nigga. He did it the way he's supposed to do it.
Gonna find out he the biggest drug dealer in Hall for years. Okay,
yeah, that's the way you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to stay incognito. Because even with the celebrity type stuff, people be talking about the houses and the lakes and all that kind of stuff there, and the Jay-Z special. I'm like, all that sound good, but me personally, I'd rather have the money that jokers don't even know who I am.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, who the hell is that going all over there?
That was like in the wire, Proposition Joe's asked Stringer Bell, you ever heard of so and so?
Exactly.
He said he sold dope and sold and did this and did that. He said the police don't know, the feds wouldn't have a clue.
Or just like the Greeks used to do it. You know, just
money gone.
For a while, forever, we thought the one dude was the big top dude for the Greeks, not even realizing it's the old man that drink coffee.
The old man didn't say 2 words.
Nothing.
The whole time. The whole time say 2 words, bro.
What's good, Karen? So again, man, you know, just keep everything in perspective. But I do want us to see us with more unity within our communities and doing all this uplifting stuff as far as, you know, teaching our young men how to be respectful of women and protect our women. And you know what I mean? That they ain't just hoes and bees and all this other kind of stuff there. And women, we got to get past this mentality of being so defensive because every man in your life has already hurt you. Like, we got to find some kind of common ground where we can all heal as a people, man.
Yeah.
Because it's vital to our survival.
We've been divided for so many decades, man, and it's the only way we're gonna make it, bro, is united. It's the only way, bro. We all gotta stick together, bro. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get out that mentality, that's my child, don't talk to my child like that, or nobody disciplining my child. No, we all need to raise a child.
Yeah, exactly. Because it sure was like that when we was growing up. Like you might have got 3 beatings from your mama, your daddy, Miss Jones before they got home from work.
That was me, bro. 3 times, I'll never forget it, bro. 3, I'll never forget it, bro. 3 beatings in one day, bro. I'll never forget it. Bro. I think it was 4, to be honest. Because I think Aunt Sheila beat me too, bro. She was living in the projects too. Yeah, she got me too, bro. What you doing with my nephew? And she the one that bought me the mommy. Mommy beat me. I got and wait till Cheddar come in the house. The pops coming out. And then waking out of your sleep with a punch. Yeah. Word up.
Yeah, man, we gonna get out of here though. What you got in closing, man?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I just wanna Saturday is Queen Born Day. So happy Born Day to wifey. We gonna step out, do something. Probably the whole weekend, cause you know how women celebrate
Bet.
their birthday.
You still in the same city that I knew her last?
Yeah. I'm still in the vid.
Let me know if y'all really get into something. I'll come through.
Yeah, I'll let you know. We thinking about going to. I was thinking about. I'm doing something with her, bro. I gotta take her somewhere, bro, because there ain't much to do out here, and I think her family gonna do something Saturday. So
okay,
if that's the case, I gotta do something Friday.
No doubt. Happy Born Day, Queen.
Yeah, you know the kids doing something Sunday, so it's different around here. My household different.
That's what's up. It's a beautiful thing, though.
Yeah, we are not the Huxtables. Totally different over here. Word up.
It don't matter, but one of the things that I like about it that you can say that y'all do have a gospel and that's in the same vein as the Huxtables is. I look at it. I was having this conversation with my brother the other day. I said I really think that the Cosby Show is like probably not my favorite, but I think it's the greatest show ever.
I agree 100%. I agree 100% with you. I agree 100%.
When you look at it all these years later, bro, it was all about love.
Bro, and it was funny, bro. Like it touched on so many reasons why that's the best show, bro. I'm not even gonna get into that.
Hands down, father-son relationship, father-daughters, how to treat your sister, how you treat your siblings.
What? Grandfather, grandchildren relationship, bro. Absolutely.
So I would say that the same thing. Y'all might not be the Huxtables, but I guarantee y'all rooted in love just like them. So
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You know that's the main thing in the household, baby. Yeah. The main thing, bro. That's how we was raised in my house, bro. You know, Gina ain't play that, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we had a bully in my projects, bro, and I was taught in 2nd, 3rd grade, bro. Man, somebody touch your brother, y'all both fight. I think I was taught that in 2nd grade, bro. Y'all raised totally different, bro. Totally different, bro.
And that's what it takes sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
Yeah, bro.
if you gonna fight me, if you gonna step to me, you better be ready to get the rest of the crew.
Bobby, Bobby was wild. Bobby don't say nothing to nobody. Bobby just come out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. You
Dog
up here
too.
arguing.
Dog
Yeah,
the
what?
quiet assassin.
Yeah, you gotta watch the quiet one. Dude, that's how I know. That's how I know. Him, dog, Eric, what? Are you crazy? Eric don't say nothing to nobody. And you ain't family, Eric don't talk to you. People be like, yo, what's wrong with your brother? Who? The one that ain't saying nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
He plotting everything out. He filling the
he the most dangerous one, but ain't nothing wrong with him.
That's good, yo.
Word up.
That's it.
Word up, man. Yeah, bro, but that's about it, man. That's all I got planned for the weekend, bro. I'm just, grinding, bro, hustling, bro, raising these. I can't even say raising these kids. They grown, bro.
Yeah, exactly, yo.
They grown, bro. So
I tell people all the time, I never say we getting older. We just getting more experienced.
Facts. I'm an expert at this point. At this point in my life, I'm an expert.
Yeah.
All the time. You think you know everything at this point, bro? Probably, man. Just to push them on.
Especially depending on the subject matter. Especially the subject matter.
I said, well, you did good your life, right? You ain't never been behind bars. You doing good. You ain't been in no game. You doing good with your life. You got 2 jobs. You doing good, bro.
Exactly.
I say you doing good in life, bro.
Yeah. And that's, like you said, that's the way it's supposed to be, man. Like you said, I just really feel like that, especially being so close to the streets. Like, if you taught your kid how to do the same thing that you did, that's one of the things. And I hate to go. We're gonna really get out of here soon. But that's part of why that always drove me crazy was Weebay baby mother. I couldn't stand her, yo.
She was the work, y'all. Y'all, word is born. If she come, if we watching the wire, she come on. Queen will walk out the room. Queen hate her, bro. Like, I can't stand her.
Right there with Kirk Franklin, mom. It's time for you to get out there and earn your keep.
She was. I done kept you in Nike since you was in diapers. That was the worst phrase ever.
Like, you ain't keep him in diapers. Weebay did.
Weebay did. Yeah, Weebay in prison for diapers, for Nikes and diapers.
That's the only thing I'm like Queen. I don't like it either. I won't walk out, but the only thing that I do like to see is when she go visit Weebay in jail. And what he tell her? Don't forget who you talking to now.
What? I am who I am, no matter inside of these walls, outside of them streets. I don't care if I'm in Russia.
You better recognize, yo.
Yeah, my word is my word. I
promise. Who you talking to?
Let's not do that.
Real quick.
You do that, you play fly with your son. You ain't gonna do that with me. Yeah, that was my favorite scene. That was a dope scene. Absolutely.
Yeah, the Wire, man. The Wire never get old, man. There'll never be nothing with the Wire. I don't want to see no movies. Touch it, don't touch it. Leave it alone.
No, there's nothing else for you to do. Nothing. Omar gone. Everybody gone. There's nothing for you to do, bro.
Yeah, like, leave it alone. Because these days, it was so big and it was pop culture. We need to do a remake 30 years. No, leave it alone. Don't ever touch the Wire, yo.
Yeah, don't do that. No, don't. There's a few shows they shouldn't touch, bro. There's definitely one of them.
Definitely one of them.
That's definitely one of them. Absolutely.
All right, we'll get out of here, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, man. Thanks for your time, man. Y'all let's just stay positive and do what you do. Love on the ones that you love. Let them know why you can, man. Y'all just stay up. We're going to be back next week. Next Tuesday, we're supposed to be doing a show on fraternities and sororities. I'm not really into it and fire, but it's that whole conversation about the pros and cons. So I want to get a couple of people going here and talk about the benefits of it, what they got from being in a part of fraternities and the brotherhood and the sisterhood, things of that nature here with all our HBCUs and different colleges getting ready to celebrate their homecomings. So I figured that would be a good time to do it. And then the following show, we right back on the hip hop. That'll be the show the day before my born day. So we're going to get on there. We're going to have some good conversations on that too with my peeps and getting nice.
I'll probably be doing that show on location though, but he's still gonna be doing it. So I look forward to all of y'all next Tuesday. And as usual, signing off, DeAndre and Lisha. Know that Daddy loves you intentionally, but I also love you unconditionally. So next week,
Peace.